clerk was willing to give up power peacefully. The problem in other parts of the world, we've only had one side of the equation. That's what made...
And it's Monday morning. I'm on the pound yen. You saw before I entered the trade right here, and I actually just got out, like right somewhere right in here for about 65 pips. The reason I entered this trade was on the 5-minute chart. You could see it broke this little trend line and came back. Right here's where I entered, and it actually price never crossed back over where I entered, and then it's basically right up against this trend line. So I got out of the trade, and I'm just gonna wait, see if it breaks and retests, or comes back down and breaks this trend line, to see if I want to take a long or short position. And I mean, this happens all day long. You can see last night it happened. I was actually sleeping, but you have this trend line here. It breaks, it retests, and you just get a great entry, and make some good pips. All right, it's like 5:30 Tuesday morning, New York time. I actually just closed out a trade for about 80 pips. I didn't record it because just kind of like zombie trading here, half asleep and stuff. But I took the trade right here on the break and retested this trend line. So I took it right here, right about at this 618, and I got out right about here. I don't think this is done going down. I think it's going to at least make it to the 141 in this trend line. But typically this is a tough market to trade. It's just a choppy, rangy mess. But it's either just wait until the market starts trending, which last week of the month it could be a little while, or there's ways to trade these markets. The trades are quick, just an hour or two, but you can see you just keep drawing in these little trend lines on the 15-minute chart. But on the 4-hour chart here, you can see it's kind of like, looks like it's kind of trying to press down. It just I've seen this before. It just keeps barely making lower highs and lower lows here, just barely. So I still think there's a trade to be had here, and when the New York market opens, to come up. But it kind of looks like this is eventually gonna break down to the bottom here. You see I got a daily trend line in here, and then I just got an hourly or 4-hour trend line coming up here. So I'm gonna see if I can find another trading opportunity. It's the only problem, the thing is with this, you got to be super patient, and you cannot chase the market, because you got to get that good entry. I did have a losing trade right here. I think I took a long position in here. It came down and stopped me out for like 20 pips or something, and then the market just took off. There was a nice move right here. It's the end of the day. It's the end of the New York session. Going into the Australian Asian session is just not a good time to trade right through here. So, lesson learned, whatever, small loss. But you can see, you just have this trend line drawn in. It gives this quick little break of it, and this is right where you want to pull the trigger. And like I say, you got to be ready to get out, because this can turn at any point. But this is basically an ABCD, A to B, B to C, C to D. And like I said, I just waited for this bullish flag to break and retest, and that was my trade. but you got to be careful on these patterns because sometimes it can give a fake out. It looks like it's going down, and it can double bottom right here and then take off. But it had a good momentum coming down, choppy flag. So it just really looked like it was going to keep going down, and it did. And it also just looks like this thing's headed, it just looks like it's headed down to me. I don't know. So hopefully the next trade I'll get it on I'll record it and we'll see what happens. So this pair bounced pretty hard right here, right about where I got out, and it retraced right up to just about the 50% retracement of this last little swing. So I know it might seem kind of risky or whatever, but I did take a short position off of that. You had three things going for it. You had this trend line, 50% retracement, and then you actually had this like little bit of history all the way back here, and then of course, and it was respecting it all through here. So my stop loss is like 15 pips, so it's not that big of a deal, and I do have a take profit set here, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to wait for it to get there. But if it does, you're talking like 50 pips or so. So it's a pretty good risk to reward, and we'll see what happens.
Possible outcome.
Okay, you can see it just price just spiked up and took me out.
High pressure, it's going to be responsible for producing good traffic
about like a
over to
15
and from
pip loss
Phoenix. That will be warm today, sunny and 105.
Can't win them all, right? Just want to see what's going on here with the pound yen. You can see right here is where I got stopped out, and it was about a 15 pip loss, and then I had lost like right about 20 pips here. This spike down took me out, so I made like 60 back here, and then 80 in here, minus that 45, so it's up. I'm about maybe 95 pips. I really didn't expect price just to keep on cruising right here. I really thought it would turn and at least give me another chance to take a long position, because this was a pretty good trade, but it just never gave me that opportunity. I just didn't see anywhere where I could jump back in for a long position. So I'm just gonna wait and let this work itself out, see if it makes it back up to here. But you can see it's just basically doing the same thing every day. It went up, came down, consolidated, went up, came down, came up, consolidated, went up. It just keeps doing the same thing. It keeps ending in the middle of the day every day, and it'll be interesting to see how it closes today. I mean, when it does this, it's winding up for something, for a big move. So we'll see what happens with it.